Hello boys, I'm finally back. I've been away a bit because I've been traveling and then I've been busy, but incredibly enough, I'm back. I'm back, boys. How are you? Are you good, bad, up, down, left, or right? On my side, I'm pretty good. So just finishing advertising in a few places, so people may join us. I'm back. So it's sometimes that I don't stream. I mean, few days, and also it's sometimes that I'm not watching the source code and everything else. So we have to restart a bit. But I remember we arrived to a pretty good point. The good point was that everything in NPC AI was compiling properly, and we just had to start to execute. To start to see, start to test and see if things are running or not running. Hello, Maui. Tomorrow you have 3 weeks of vacation. Wow, that's so cool. 3 weeks of vacation is a lot. Very nice. So yeah, I think that tomorrow evening I will not stream because actually I started a bit of an initiative with some my friends, and I will show you maybe to play plan shift role playing game. And plan shift role playing game is something that I was thinking already very long time ago, but I never had the time, the willingness to actually create. Because it's some effort, but I took some time to actually go and create some rules, and actually I managed to create something that I think is reasonable. What I'm using the what is called the I created a web page for it, but it's not really, you know. Just a second, I will show you. I created a web page, but at the moment it's not really too good, so I think I need to do something more. And at the end, just with the basics, the audience, I mean the game system. Basically, I'm using the Wizard of the Coast D20 system 3.5. Which is not the latest because now there is edition 5 of D&D, but is the one for which I found most of the stuff. I can show you maybe the file that I don't know if you care, but anyway, I created a file and I'm going to test it tomorrow evening with some of my friends. Basically, the point is that is a pen and paper, right? Kind of RPG where you sit together with your friends around the table and you play with a game master. And I adapted the 3.5 system to plane shift in terms of races, in terms of our magic rules, our skills, our jobs, and such. At the moment, it's not final because we need to play test it a few times before before actually making it good, but I think it could be a good thing. So if you are interested, let me know. I can send you the document, or I can just link the document. Why not? I can link you the document. I have no issue. So is under Plan Shift IT, public download. psrpg.pdf, I think it is. Right. So if you want to know, if you want to see it, is here. I'm linking into the chat. Assuming I'm still live because I see the chat disconnected. But at the moment we are at version 03. And yes, it's basically Plane Shift tabletop role play system. using D&D 3.5, and what this document is telling you is how to create a character. It's teaching you the basic of the game, how to use it and such, you know, and all the rules, the abilities, everything that is in black color is something that I took from the D&D system. Everything that is in blue is made by us. So at the end you have the two different licenses. At the end of the document you can read the licenses. And I'm gonna play test it tomorrow. Seems that the chat is not working anymore. Can you hear me? I mean, am I live or not? Let me check. Yes, it seems I am. Okay, so it explains the races and the bonus of the different races. I try to balance the races in a way that they are kind of not too OP. I mean, like there is not one race that is evidently better than all the others, because there are a few, you know, that can be like, you know, if you take the Clearas, for example, they can fly, they have night vision, they breathe underwater, so they have so many advantages, and so at least we have the drawback of heavy armor, right? They cannot wear heavy armor. The Innon, for example, also have some benefits. So the Innon have some maluses, so they suffer double damage from gold, silver, and platinum weapons. But to counterbalance this, they have, you know, benefit in body development and fortitude, and so on. Then there is some of the basic stuff like the alignments, which is the same as D&D. In fact, is in black. And here we have something I still have to complete. Then we have no classes, so the system is based exactly on how Planeship is made. So it's skill based, it's not class based. And then there are rules for hit points and everything else. If you are interested, you can read it. I don't know if any of you is playing D&D or is playing any role-playing games. Obviously, I had to adapt the rules because the mathematics behind it cannot be as complex as the one that we have in Planeship, right? Because the math should be simple because you want to do it with a d20, and that's it. But if you are playing D&D with anyone, you can do it. I don't know. Seems that this link is not working. When I post it, it's not. Okay, he posted it now, I think. Okay, good. Okay, this was just to tell you that I'm also working a bit on that, and I will play test it tomorrow, and I will tell you on Saturday. Saturday I will stream, tomorrow no, but Saturday and Sunday I will stream, so I can tell you a bit more about the result of the first session. It would be cool if I could stream the session online, but at the moment, let's say no. Okay, so where we were, I don't know. I think I have to remember what we were doing. Yes, we had our mission, right? We have our mission to load the brains of an NPC from the database with the time of the day trigger, right? So at a certain time of the day, for example, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, we want our NPC to do something. And in particular to move to a specific waypoint, and from that waypoint they move to another one, and things like that, right? So this means that we want to move from a very small brain that we have today with our NPC to a very big brain. Nice. Yeah, these are all the classes that I already explained to you the other times where we are trying to convert. All of those now are fine. All of this are fine and converted, right? All these classes. Do they work? No idea. So I think the first thing to do is to recompile everything, ensure that we have the latest version. So let's do that. Also, we should check if there has been any check-in by anyone recently. So I will do an SVN update. No, okay, no check-in in last. I think I updated probably 2 days ago. So no other check-ins. Fine. Let's recompile and see if we get no errors. and then we will start to test, right? Because we want to see if all the rules that we have in the database are properly loaded. Actually, I think we should change our rules. Let's do something. So we want to associate our NPC, right? Our NPC, which is the number 4, the male N key. At the moment we have it associated to a wanderer NPC type. I think it's okay, but maybe what we can do, we can create a new type, which is just reacting to time. Let me check how to do that. SC NPC type, like go home. What about creating a new one, a completely new one, which is super simple and it only has the time behavior? Huh? I think it's a good idea, so that we don't mess up with that. I'm searching one that is scheduled. I think the quest masters, these guys probably are doing something. No, I'm searching someone just reacting to time. We should have a few. Maybe it's Wanderer really? Maybe it's the one that I no. It's not Wanderer. Okay, I think I have to check them one by one. Huh? React to event, no. I want one that reacts just to time. We don't have any that reacts to time. Seems impossible. Let me do it with a query. Where script like percentage time, percentage time, percentage. Let me try this and see if any. There is a diurnal and nocturnal. Okay. Yes, there it is. Okay, so this one seems to be okay. Go to sleep, go to region. Go to sleep. What is, so let me zoom it a bit, otherwise you cannot see anything. What is this doing? Go to sleep, percept, locate sleeping area, range, invisible, wait duration. Go to sleep, standard random move in region. I don't know exactly which region, but okay. Go to region. Okay. Random moving region. I don't know exactly which region is searching in this script. I think I have no idea, but locate, maybe it's this one, a sleeping area. It's probably the region that is working. Probably we have then a region designed the sleeping area. Okay, for now, let's say that this is okay for me. So we have these two thingies that is reacting at 22 and 6. At 22 and 6, I think I would like it to react to any hour, you know, because I think that's a bit better. But let's see if this is getting loaded first of all, okay, because this is the point. So if our NPC is able to read and understand this kind of behavior in the reaction of events. So how do we do this? I think it compiled okay. I think when we are loading the NPC, which is actually inside, I think PS character load. Yes, so it's here. Here we are assigning the brain to the NPC, right? And then I don't know if we are starting the tick. Are we starting the tick of the NPC? I think the first thing we should do is to check that the brain is properly running. So NPC brain, let me check this one, because we have an NPC brain and we have an NPC brain tick, which is the one that is related to thinking. So makes the NPC think. So in NPC brain, yes, we have the tick, but I don't know if we are printing something in the tick. I think we should. Even if this is every 200 milliseconds. So maybe it's a bit too quick, you know, to... So, NPC brain, tick. There should be NPC brain tick is the function we are searching. Okay, this one. This one. So it's basically waiting that the entity manager is ready, and then it's scheduling another tick. So even if it's a bit verbose, because it's every 200 milliseconds, so we will see a million of these messages. I think we should, we can print it out. We can do a print here and see. Then we have the advance, which I don't remember exactly what it's doing. Let's go and check. Well, we can also do another thing. We should just debug this. Let's just debug this, and it's probably simpler. Right? We launch it in Visual Studio, and we just debug it and see what happens. Entity manager should go to ready at a certain point, so I think we can debug just the advance. So when it's trying to advance the brain, right? Yeah, we have to compile this. I think I wrote a page about this if you are interested in understanding better, but NPC brain, no, I think no, strange. I think I did it. Oh yes, it's this page. Right, this page. So here it basically explains how the brain tick works. And in our case, you see that it starts with NPC tick. NPC tick is called NPC advance. And then NPC advance is going on the specific NPC type, which is then calling the behavior set, which is then calling the behavior. So it is a bit of the sequence of actions that are happening, you know. And so we want to see if our behavior is properly loaded and our NPC is properly associated to that. The only thing that I didn't do, I didn't associate the NPC to this one because so this is the ID 14. So if I go under SCNPC definitions, no, SCNPC types, no. What is the connection between NPC and here? Yes. So this one should be called, I arrived too late, should be called diurnal. And if I place here diurnal instead of wanderer and I apply, and I don't know if my engine is already started. I think we arrived in time. Okay, we trigger something. Tick is actually null. I don't remember what is this doing. Why tick is null? So you see, he's trying to have the NPC brain tick, which is exactly what we need. It's not disabled, but then there is ensure NPC has only one tick at a time. But I mean, in this case, tick didn't get initialized yet. I think we need to check on the old code where tick was initialized, just to be sure that we are doing things right. Let me search inside NPC. So NPC brain was actually NPC in the old, right? I think it was here. Let me search tick and see if my NPC tick is here. Fine. NPC tick equal to null. I want to see where is assigning tick to a real value. Okay, when NPC goes up, tick is equal to null. Fine. Tick remove. So CS assert is asserting if this is true, right? So if this is true, or if this is false. Don't remember. Check expression. If unlikely, what is unlikely? If unlikely is very nice. Or if this is false. Ah, I have a mind blank, you know. Is check triggering if it's true or if it's false? I have a kind of a mind blank. Check expression. The macro execute, and if the result is a false, I'll say okay. So if it's false, it stops everything. Okay. If it's false, so we need. So why then? I mean, my tick is completely fucked up. But okay, it's probably because it's not good memory. Yeah. So it means that we didn't initialize tick in our, oh, here it is. Why I removed it? Because probably I didn't have it at the beginning. Okay, that's why. That is the only reason why. Okay, fine. No problem. We had this issue. We had this issue that I commented out the tick initialization long time ago because we were not using tick. And now we are using it, so we should put it back so it's not null, right? Yes, you need also a comma here, I guess. So we changed our NPC, right? Did we apply? I don't know if we applied. Yes, I think we applied, right? So our mail key is diurnal now. Yes, it's diurnal. And the region is wonder region. Okay, the region is here. I understand now. You will probably not be able to execute this region wonder region because the wonder region is not defined properly. We should define it properly, maybe. So also the wonder region is fine. Let me see if we have a wonder region. We have a wonder region 1. Do we have another wonder region? No. There is also an SC aliases, I think, something like that. Let me see if there is a wonder region here. No. No. So how do I find this wonder region defined? I have no idea. SC locations, SC NPC types. Okay, for now I guess I will not care too much because I don't know why this is not wonder region 1, but it's wonder region. Wonder region is not defined in our database. I don't know why. I have no idea. I have no idea. But let's go. Let's run it again. Let's arrive where the brain is starting to tick and see if we get at least the reactions loaded. Okay. Yes, I will drink in something. Okay. This one we don't care because I will remove it. Ouch. It crashed. Why it crashed? So he went through this, read NPC from the database. He didn't like something here. Event push. So now he's reading the diurnal, if this is the way to say it, the diurnal. So for some reason, event manager push. He's trying to push the tick, or he's trying to push something else. I don't understand. NPC tick. I don't understand if he's trying to push the next tick, or if is failing. Create a new NPC. But tick should never trigger unless our entity manager is ready, right? Come on, IntelliSense. 15 minutes to bring me to something that I know where is it? Is here. Okay. I will just go by hand, I think. I will just go by hand. So there is NPC, right? NPC is but wait a second. This NPC tick is not the NPC tick we want. I think here what we want the NPC brain tick. I think so. Because this NPC is actually what the hell is this NPC? This NPC brain. No, it's our NPC brain. Then why? Okay, let me check one thing. So we placed the breakpoint, but probably we didn't place it in the right place. So I tried to execute this. So we press the breakpoint only here. For some reason I think it fails here. When he's trying to push the new object, I think it's crashing here. Event manager push. I think it's this one crashing. Why is crashing though? He's trying to get the spawn manager. Spawn manager is valid, yes. Current word is not valid. Crap. We have an issue because we want the spawn manager to be ready before we do this. Maybe we have to change the sequence then. We have to move this initialization a bit later. Because our spawn manager is getting initialized. Let me check where it's getting initialized. Here. It's getting initialized here. And I think that this code, this read from database, no, in theory, this read from database, when it's getting executed, read from database, right? Read from database is inside NPC manager initialize, which is inside game state, so it should be fine because there is definitely way after the initialization of our spawn manager. If I go back, I should see it is started NPC spawn manager, so it's way back. Why our world is empty? because I set it after. Fuck it. Okay. It's just this line. It's just this line, which is we should go before. Otherwise, our timer will not work. Okay, so this line should go there, and then so we initialize the word into Spawn Manager, which is then used by a number of other functions. So we can say initialize current world in Spawn Manager, use it then by many other managers, right? So that's the thing. And our current world was empty, and so for some reason it was crashing. So we have to move it. But I think it was executing it properly anyway. It was launching the trigger in the proper place, right? And Zway, if you are listening, how is the character stuff going on? Is it proceeding or not? Okay. Oops, I deleted something. So it's trying to tick here. Now I think now it should not crash anymore, right? Okay, nice. It didn't crash. So let him go. So I will move this breakpoint here. So only when the entity manager is ready, we will hit that breakpoint. Hopefully entity manager will go ready one day. Why everything is stuck? No idea. I was expecting, no? Okay. Maybe he's waiting the completion of the loading of the levels and then it goes to ready. I don't know. Let's see. We have so many levels, by the way. No, entity manager never goes to ready. If I put a breakpoint here, no, seems that something didn't work and our events are not scheduled anymore. Very strange though. Is our brain disabled for any reason? No. We hit this few times, but then we didn't hit it anymore. So now the server is running, but is not having the tick of the NPC running. Assuming that 200 is 200 milliseconds and it's not 200 seconds, right? Assuming that. Let me check if we have any events in the list. I think we should be able to see it, right? If I try to check push set timer, how do I get the list of all the events that are? I have no idea. The only doubt I have is that 200 is actually 200 seconds and not 200 milliseconds, you know? So it would be like 3 minutes and a half. I mean, we can wait 3 minutes and a half and see if it triggers, but it could be, huh? It could be that delay ticks. We can check if set timer is in seconds or is in set timer in F timer. Do you know it? If F timer Unreal Engine F timer set timer set timer. Nice documentation. I need to know if it's milliseconds or seconds. Well, if it's seconds, we will know it in 2 minutes from now. Duration. Going to function, blah blah blah. 5F. Looks like 5 seconds, maybe. I don't know. Numbers here are very low. Maybe it's seconds, boys. Well, if it's seconds, timer seconds, milliseconds. Tell me if it's seconds or milliseconds, please. Is specified in seconds? Okay. So in theory, in 3 minutes, so 200 seconds, 3 minutes and a half. After 3 minutes and a half, it should trigger, but maybe we can just change it to 1 then, because we can trigger it every second, I guess. Yeah, maybe is less time. Oh, it is defined. Where is this defined? We can change it right now. Is here. So this one should become 1, right? It's not triggering at all. 3 minutes passed. I don't know. I don't care. Let's stop it. I will relaunch it with 1 as a default. So every second we should see the trigger, right? Because waiting 3.5 minutes all the time doesn't seem to be a good idea. It's not a good idea, boys. So it's proceeding, working through fixing skeleton alignment and fixing weight painting from auto weighting. Okay. Okay, good. So it's proceeding anyway. I understand it's a lot of work though, but maybe you are just searching the right way, so that's why it's taking a long time. I mean, I would like to understand how much manual work there is. You know, if there is a lot of manual work, a lot of things we have to do manually, or I don't understand what is the engine doing. It's compiling. Okay, it's compiling super slow. Why is compiling so slow? My CPU is. No, my CPU seems okay. Anyway, now is 1 second. Every second it takes, because actually it's expressed in seconds and not in milliseconds. Milliseconds. Okay, starting up. Okay, this one is triggering. It's triggering again. Why is triggering so many times? Probably it's triggering one for each NPC. I have no idea. One for each brain. I don't know why it's triggering so many times. You see, it seems that it's triggering a million times. I would have to check why, but let's launch it for a second and then let's try to put it back here. No, it seems that it's triggering only at the beginning and then it's never triggering again. This I don't understand why. Why is triggering millions times at the beginning and then is never triggering again? Like now you see it's not triggering. It is not good. Maybe it is disabled. That is like because there is this if is ready, but this is getting skipped, you know. And here is creating the new stuff and pushing it. And now brain tick is 1, so it's pushing the event and everything. So I don't understand what is going on. Let's try to understand first of all why at the beginning we have 1 million executions of this, because in theory we should have only one, you know. Well, maybe it's one for every brain type, and the brain types are I think of these ones. Yes, the brain types are the one in SC and PC. So maybe all these ones, every one of these start to tick, even if they don't have, an NPC associated yet. Okay, let's first understand that. Otherwise, so this is ticking. Okay, let me check which brain. I think we should search for. Okay, this is brain diurnal. Okay. This brain diurnal is coming from read NPC from the database, which is reading SC NPC definitions. Right? SC NPC definitions, which is yes, all our NPCs. Okay, so is basically executing one time for each of these brains. Okay, pretty much okay. I'm fine with that. And then each one of these brains is then triggering every second, right? Which is okay to me. I just don't understand why. It's executed once and then never again. So type. If we do like this and then type, I think we will see it going through, right? So this is diurnal. I cannot increase the font of this for some reason. Yes, then it's doing Smith, you see? It's doing Smith, doing fighter, on-site fighter, wanderer, quest master, pitmaster, move, blah, 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 blah. So it's doing, let's say, one for each, right? Now the point is this event actually doing something? Let me check, because I'm not 100% sure. UNPC tick, what is this thing doing? Pick definition. When it triggers, right, it calls tick again. The point is that we don't know if NPC is valid. NPC should be valid. I think we never said it though. We never said it, so it's always empty. So that's why. That's why, boys. I think so. Right? We are not setting the NPC. Why we do this stupid check of if NPC is valid? I have no idea. If NPC. I think that here we go in and Why says that no code is associated to this? Anyway, when it triggers, is calling NPC, right? And this is not gonna happen. So we need to set. None of this is getting. Why? All of that is getting optimized away. But anyway, what we should do is just to set the NPC to the actual. So here we should do new event NPC. We do it. Maybe we cannot do it. We cannot do it because NPC is private, it's protected. Okay, it's protected. So annoying. Okay, let's do it just a set NPC function. So we do set NPC, and we take as an input NPC brain NPC, and I will call it in NPC. And then what we do in this function is only to do NPC equal to in NPC. Right, so we can call it from the other side, is not protected, blah blah blah. This one is returning void because we don't care about it. And here we just do set NPC. Come on. Okay, it'll take a few hours, then we do it. And we set this, right, because we are inside NPC brain, so we set this as the NPC. Okay, so this way I think it will properly trigger. Otherwise it was triggering but then was doing nothing, was not rescheduling another event, right? So it was actually executing only one time, which is the behavior that we have seen. Yeah. Oh wow, you wrote a lot of stuff. So far the manual part is okay. Edit the skeleton from U4 template align with the character models. Okay, but that one I guess is done once, right? It's done once. Then use auto weighting to start the weighting. Okay, this is in Blender. The auto weighting is in Blender already. Remove weighting from the IK the weighting from the IK bonds. Okay, clear the joints, and we're on both sides. Why it failed? Man, set NPC. Oh, it's called set NPC uppercase. Yeah. It's all in Blender, eh? Good. Then clean the joints. Okay. Then test the animation in Unreal to see if any other weighting is too strong or weak. Okay, for all the models. Okay. Okay. And can you see, let's say, can you reuse an existing Unreal Engine animation? So do you have this package you said that you imported in Blender, which I don't remember if it was only the rig or also the animations. So if you could import both things. I think it's only the rig. Okay. So then the animation packages are in Unreal. Are they triggering or not? Yeah, I think some are triggering because I see the same. No, they are not triggering at all. Why is not executing the tick again? I don't get it. Why is not executing the tick? UPS NPC tick, right? Yes. UPS NPC tick. Why this trigger is not triggering? I think we need to place a printout because for some reason it's not, it's not working. He's setting the tick to null and then it's executing tick again. But do we assign the tick to... we missed one step. We missed one step. We also need to assign the actual tick, otherwise it remains null forever. And if it's null, is then not... No, but it should then assert. It should assert here. One second, and I have to understand what this thing is trying to do. NPC brain tick. Tick is the... Yes. He sets it to null, but I don't understand exactly why he's doing this. I think we need to... I'm a bit confused, so I think I will just print out something here. Because for some reason I cannot debug it, like if it's saying that part of the code is not executed or something. I mean, it's executed for sure. But log temp, let's do log, and then let's do... do we need to know the name? Do we want to print out something? We can actually print out the NPC type. That would be nice. Yes, let's print out the NPC type, which is an f string. And we say NPC tick for, and then we do this, okay? And it is only when it's triggering there. Okay, fine. I don't know why it's saying the trigger is never triggered, but I'm a bit confused by that. Like, I cannot debug this. Why I cannot debug this? Yeah, you can apply the store animations, okay. But only inside Unreal. That's not very good. But and so, can you then export the animation from Unreal into Blender? Like, let's say you apply it in Unreal, right? And then you want to bring it back to Blender to do some tweaks. Can you do that? If you want to tweak the animation. You have not been able to. So it may be like a stopgap, it may be like a stopgap solution while we redo the proper animations in Blender. So we use the real ones just temporarily, and then we redo our animations. I don't know, something like that. Can you give me a second? I will be back as soon as this thing compiles. I think, I hope so. I will be back. 1 second, okay. once. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. I'm here. Okay, I wanted to see if this thing triggers, and so if we execute it a few times, if we actually get on the console, if we get any triggers. I don't see any triggers triggering. Why is not triggering? This thing is not triggering any. I mean, none of our none of our events triggered for whatever reason. So let me check. Okay, we create a new item. Fine. We set the delay ticks, and the delay ticks we set they are in seconds, and so we set it to 1 second. Okay. Then we also set the NPC on the event, and then we do a push inside event manager. Okay, and the push is executed because we see that. Now the push, what is doing is just checking this. Set timer, set handle delegate, is setting the ticks. Okay, well, this one, event, delay ticks, yes, is this one. Then is adding it to the root to avoid all that stuff. Then what is doing is process event. Then what is doing is processing our event queue. Maybe we can check if this one is doing something, you know. There is a check trigger. Maybe our check trigger is failing. I don't know what check trigger is doing, but return valid. I don't know. Default implementation use the valid flag. Okay, the valid flag. Do we have a valid flag on our events? Let me check the other one, the PS item event. The PS item event, where was that? Let me check inside game event, because I think it's not triggering really. It's not triggering. Where do we have all the events declared? Is it here? No. I remember event manager, events, entity manager. Maybe it was in entity manager where we defined. Okay, here is one for example. No, but I'm searching the one about items. I don't remember if it was here or here. I don't remember where is the. If I do class view, can I search for UPS game event? Okay. Derive classes. There it is. UPS item spawn event. Exactly this one is the one I wanted to search. Okay. Valid equal to true. You see this thing? Okay. We are not doing it in our other event. Now, didn't know it was needed, but I'm not doing it here either. So, no, we are doing it. I think we are doing it everywhere. It's just that I forgot we have to do it, you know. But I think we do this. This one, for example, we don't. Okay. Anyway, we need a valid equal to true. That is what I understand. So inside of the MP constructor, we will say valid equal to true. So there is no check, no specific check to do for executing this particular event, right? This is probably why it doesn't trigger. This may be one of the reasons. Zwei, what you were saying, we'll see how fast I can do all the animation for characters in game. I should be able to share the basic animation between all characters. Okay, so okay, I think at this point, you know, what we need to do is to try to get the characters in. Even if it's not perfect, you know, if the animation is not perfect, something else is not perfect, I mean, who cares? But will be relevant to have them in because pretty soon I will hit the point where I need to test with the different characters, you know, having different NPCs and all of that. So they will be pretty soon, I think. Hopefully. Unfortunately, this week I didn't really make progress, but I hope to make some progress today and Saturday and Sunday. We can do half of this stream on Twitch, maybe. I don't know, just for fun. Okay, now it seems it's processing something. Well, there is a weather event though. It's not processing shit. It's a weather event. It's processing the weather events, but it's not processing the. Yeah, they are all weather events. Why is not processing the other ones? I have no idea. I don't like this. Okay, it's just weather. Why our events are not processed? I don't get it. Maybe our event delay tick for some reason is not working. Because I remember that if for any reason that is 0, the timer is not properly working. If you set it to time 0, it's not working. So we can check if it's 0 for some reason, but should not. Okay, this is an NPC tick, right? So handle to blah blah blah. Event delay ticks. How much is delay ticks is 1. So trigger ticks is 0, but delay ticks is 1. So type is empty. Okay. So it's setting the delegate here. So I'm expecting that this thing works. There is another event with 1 and so on, right? So we are scheduling all these events, but then for some reason they never trigger. Oh, I got so many. PC tick 40. Why they never trigger? We schedule them, we add them to the queue, but they never trigger. And then I get the weather event. The weather event I get, but weather event I get all the time. Process queue, weather event. And then it's scheduling a new one, right? Yeah. Ah, it's not working. It's scheduling only the weather events, nothing else. Can I get this timer and check? No. Timer manager. If I get this timer manager, because I don't even know how to debug it. You know, how do I debug if the internal timer is actually properly set, right? The thing that makes me a bit wonder is if I go here and I try to add a trigger here, you see, it's telling me that the breakpoint will not currently be hit. No executable code of the debugger target code associated with this line. Like if we'll never go here. I mean, why? Or here for what matters. I don't understand what is going on here, boys. I don't understand. I think there is something major broken. NPC take, let's do something like this. NPC take constructor. I mean, at least the constructor should print out, right? At least the constructor should print out. I mean, why not? It's like he's using another class, right? Like if he's using something else. He's never processing the queue. Because we are not using this constructor, because this constructor is the one with parameters, but actually we don't use it. We are using this constructor, which is the empty one. Yes, the same way we do. You see, for example, we have it for the weather event. Weather event is kind of the same. I don't see this one going into valid. Let's see if it prints out at least the constructor, okay? Yes, NPC tick constructor, I've seen it, there was one there. NPC tick constructor, you see there's another here. I think there will be one for each line that I'm securing now, yeah, you see? So the constructor is there. So it's actually constructing all this and setting into our world the timer. But then for some reason it's like if the world is reset or something, it's not then working properly. Or we do it too early and the world is actually getting initialized again and our timers are then forgotten. Because what I see, schedule a new event which is taking game time progress. Queue next event. Let me check this thing. There is the one of the weather, and the weather is working properly. The weather is working properly. So what is it doing? It's setting some parameters. We had a function which was called set parameters in our weather event. So I was setting the parameters and then it was pushing. Okay. So set parameters is only doing this. He also has type. No, but I think that's just it's setting the delay ticks. He has the trigger, which is not defined here actually. I don't know why it's not defined here. Ah yes, it's defined here then. Okay, fine. Yeah, but this is basically the same, you know, it's exactly the same. Why the other one doesn't work? Why the other one doesn't work? That's the question. I think the only difference is potentially our weather event is scheduled after the server is fully initialized. The first weather event is probably scheduled when the server is fully initialized. So maybe we are missing, maybe we are doing it too early and our object get destroyed. It's very strange. Wow, the entire solution is a very bad idea. Do you remember where we did this of the weather? Weather trigger. Weather event get type. New weather event. So Q next event. I think it should be it. So let's search this one. New weather day night. Wow. Handle weather events. Start game time. Maybe we could do it here, you know. We can, but it's inside weather manager. Start game time. So this one is the one that is starting the queue, and then when is this? When is this starting? Start game time. What is it? Is here? Yeah, is after. Is after. Is after this. Entity manager set ready. I mean, it's true that we do the entity manager set ready only here, but in our code we are asking if the entity manager is ready only later on. I was expecting our NPC tick to just continue. It's not good at all. Can we just do? Let me just do something to be sure. Okay, so let's just try to schedule one NPC tick here. Just a random one. How can we do that? We can get, like, if we do NPC manager, can we get the NPC definitions? What is this returning? Is it returning the NPC types? Come on. Okay, let's stop it. This is returning a T map of NPC brain. Yes, perfect. So if I do NPC definitions, and then I do find, and then I do like the first one, whatever, right? The first one. So this will be my PS NPC brain, just as an example. And if I then, it's not working. Okay. If I then want to just initialize one tick, the same way we do here. So if I want to schedule, if I want to create this, right? So I create a new event, of this type. Then okay, this one we should have it, and we set NPC equal to brain. Right, and then we push the new event. I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. The only thing we need to do, we have to define NPC tick, which is inside NPC brain. So we just include NPC brain here. NPC brain is under NPC client / NPC brain. Yes. So just to understand if this way, so if we start the tick of our NPC after basically the loading of the game is completed, if it then works, because I have the feeling that we are or doing it too early, or the current world gets reset, and so I don't know, something is happening. Okay, it's built, so let me try to execute it, and at least this stick should go. If also this stick doesn't go, I think we are a bit in trouble, huh? Because it means, well, maybe it's better if it doesn't go. So yeah, maybe it's better because it means there is some fundamental problem that we can fix kind of easy. If this one goes, then it will be harder to catch why the one inside the NPC manager doesn't work. But let's see. So I'm expecting to see the triggers as well. This is what I'm expecting. Okay, this is the push. Of all our NPC take constructors, I don't know how many we have, but we have a number. Right? We have so many. Boom, and then it crashed for some reason. NPC manager. Why doesn't like this? NPC definitions. Should return this one, yes. Why all the NPC are empty? Minion? Wait a second. Like Wanderer, right? Wanderer. If I take Wanderer, and I try to understand, so Wanderer as a first value, which has NPC as empty. NPC is null. Why NPC is null? Maybe this is our problem. All the other values are okay, like the name Wanderer is fine, the reactions. Also, all the reactions are here, are loaded properly. But the NPC is null. Okay. Okay. So this one is returning an empty NPC. It's returning an empty NPC. It's a bit weird though. NPC manager initialize. NPC manager read NPC from database, which is exactly where we're looking at, right? And this function NPC new NPC brain, okay, is associating here all the NPC brain, new NPC brain, load the brain, blah blah blah, right? NPC tick. Now here is doing the addition to NPCs, but seems that this one is not working as expected. Like this NPC is getting destroyed. Well, there is a delete NPC here, but this is happening only if the load fades. I don't think the load fades. I think the load is fine. Let me check what is going on here. Because all our NPC definitions then are empty. All our NPC definitions are empty. Get NPC definitions, right? Inside NPC manager. Get NPC definitions inside NPC manager. Is there a way to order this list alphabetically? It's so annoying that it's not alphabetic. NPC manager. Yeah, it's returning NPCs. Okay, so it's returning this variable, which is the variable that we are setting here. So let me check. My NPC is this one. Okay, fine. Then I do this. I do this. Okay, I enter into this. I don't really care. Okay, let me check. NPC one. But here the value is fine. Old brain, new brain. Brain NPC. So, for example, here, yes, here my NPC is this one, my brain is this. So it seems okay here. So what is going on? What is happening after this? Why this NPC gets destroyed? Brain is okay and NPC is okay. Brain is okay, NPC is okay. So what is going on after this happens? This is what I'm very confused. These are all fine. He's loading the values properly, okay? So all our values are getting entered properly into the database, into the memory, I mean, are loaded properly, taking it from the database. See, we have now 28. I mean, I can just continue, but these are all okay. Now, for some reason, while I read, when I go at the end of this loading, which will happen at the moment I'm inside this initialize, right? As soon as I finish this initialize, let me try to maybe remove this breakpoints. Okay, I finished the initialize. Let me check now. NPCs, we have 48 NPCs. and they are valid. They have a proper brain and proper, yeah, they are valid. They are definitely all valid. Now something happens between here and here that is fucking up our memory. I don't know. Entity manager, NPC manager, NPCs. All my NPCs seems to be fine. Diurnal brain. Only the old brain is null, but it's okay. I mean, we don't need that. Then I arrive here. I have 48 NPCs. Ah, that is correct. That is correct. Boom. It's giving an error. Let me return it differently because maybe is this thing getting crazy. Let me return it with findRef, but findRef1 should definitely return something. Unless there is no brain with ID. Wait a second. PID 5. Maybe one doesn't have the. Okay. Okay. I think it's because this is the ID of the NPCs, not the ID of the brain. Okay. Yes, I want to stop debugging. Okay. I think that it was actually null. Was really null because is the brain is the ID is the ID of the NPC. And the NPC number 1 is actually a player, so it doesn't have an artificial intelligence brain, right? He has a brain, but not an artificial intelligence brain. Okay, I see. I see. I see. Okay. So our test is still valid. We want to see if when we arrive here, first of all, if we have a proper value, but I think at this time we will have. I think this time we will have. And if the tick is actually propagated continuously or not. It should be every second. Every second you should have a new tick. So if any of you is watching, I think many of you are watching, but would you prefer if I stream on Twitch instead of streaming on YouTube? Because someone was saying, why don't stream on Twitch? There is a larger audience, there is more people searching for programming and things. Okay, now our brain is loaded. I just want to say, if I launch this event, if I push this event, if I'm getting no, makes no difference. Okay, makes no difference. Makes no difference. My constructor is getting called, but then my trigger is never called. Okay. I don't understand why. Oh, it got called now. NPC tick for diurnal. Okay. He got actually called now. Why he got called now? I don't understand. Process event queue, NPC tick. Yeah, so it is exactly what I was expecting to see from the beginning. Right? But unfortunately, it happens only for the one that we initialized after the game state. So not the one that we initialized here, but the one that we initialized here. Is this entity manager set ready doing something wrong? You know what is the problem? If I move this code down here, means that I will load the NPC brains after I load the NPCs, and I think this is not gonna work. Hmm. So the question is why why here is not triggering and why here is triggering? Don't understand this. Also don't understand why I cannot put a breakpoint here, but okay, maybe just because it's inside the H file and we cannot put a breakpoint in H files. I don't know, no idea. Could be. So basically, we are calling our constructor, we are setting our event to valid, right? Because this is happening for sure, 100%. Then this is scheduled inside our event manager in this part of the code where we do spawn manager, current wall, get timer manager, set timer, blah 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 and blah. I don't know what is this false at the end, I have no idea. Is in first delay. I know loop. You can say if it's looping. That's interesting. Okay, but anyway, it's not looping. We are adding it to our root event, and then for some reason that event is never getting processed. So we never reach from here. We never reach the process event queue. Never. Even if it's just a simple timer, you know, it's just a simple timer. Is there a debugger for timers? Because I don't know, I'm confused. So the only reason could be that the current world, which is actually where we get, but the timer manager should be generic, you know, should be not related to a specific world. Return timer manager instance for this world. Well, actually it is. Actually it is. I don't know. We can check if the world is the same one, you know, but I think it should be. We can check if the world between the two executions is the same or not. I mean, I start to be surprised, but let me just do that check, just to see if the world for some reason gets reset. by any of the other functions, because I think that could be, that could be a reason. I removed the breakpoint, I think. Yeah. Let me put it. I want the breakpoint in event. I want a breakpoint here. I want a breakpoint here, and I want to see if for some reason the pointer to this current world is different from the initial execution to the final execution. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that world gets deleted. Because it seems that events are related to the global timer and to the to a timer, and this timer seems to be associated to the world. So if for any reason the world getting changed, then okay, this is our NPC tick. Let me see what is this current world at the moment. So current world is 2AAFB something, right? Whatever it is. So current world is this thing. Is 2AAF, 2AAFB, whatever. B040. So this is the address of the current words. And our time manager should be here somewhere. Is this guy. I don't know if I can see the events that he's executing, but I don't think so. Is we can, I think, just take the last parts. 274C0. 274C0, it is the timer. Okay, so this is the word and this is the timer. So for some reason in this condition, this thing will never work. This is what we have seen, right? This thing will never be processed. Okay, fine. Now when we arrive here, our world seems to be exactly the same. Let me go there. Okay, there is a PS spawn event, we don't care. User start generation, we don't care. Weather, we don't care. Okay, we put the tick here. It is our NPC tick. So our current world is exactly the same. It's 2AAFB04. It's exactly the same. And our timer, I guess, is exactly the same. I guess. What it can be? Why two events exactly identical are working? One is working, the other is not working, just because they are executed in different parts of the code. I don't know. Our timer manager is exactly the same guy. It's exactly the same guy. It seems it takes a lot though. After the execution here, I'm loading the levels. It takes a long time, you see? Very long time. And then it does NPC tick for diurnal. But it takes forever. It takes like 10 seconds or so. Before starting the first one, which is the one that is declared here. Start game time. I don't know if there is any other. Do you think is this entity manager set ready? I mean, I can move this up, but I don't think it's this. But let's try. At the moment, I'm completely in the dark, so let me try to move the ready up and see if this is blocking the execution for some reason of of our events. Should not be, right? We do a check for readiness. In our code, we do a check for readiness, but we do it. I mean, should anyway process the event, you know, should at least arrive here. Yeah, then this trigger should go here, check if the NPC is present, and it should at least say NPC tick for diurnal. You know, should at least do that. I don't know if we are trying to execute this too early and the engine is really not. Boom. Spawn all the NPC. Yeah, just go, man. Nah, it's like if it's starting to execute the triggers in the world only after the world is properly loaded. Even if you see that here, we have our NPC constructor is up there. It's very before. And we have all these NPC ticks here. All these 48 are dying and will never be executed. The only one that works is this one. It's very annoying. It is very annoying. So the entity manager makes no difference wherever I place it. It's not this guy. It's really the fact that I'm initializing but I mean the only thing that I'm doing is to repopulate live because all of this stuff, right? All of this stuff. Let's check the log for a second because maybe from the log we understand the sequence, right? All of this stuff, repopulate live. So this part here is the repopulate live. Maybe we can have a file to find object, blah blah blah. Yeah, we don't have, unfortunately, we don't have a printout at the end of this. I don't know why. I don't know why we don't have a kind of a printout at the end of repopulate live, which is saying because I have it on another logger. That's why I need to have this one as a startup logger. We don't print out for each NPC. Create NPC. Yeah, these two should be moved to spawned X amount of items. Right, let me just move these two logs to startup, otherwise we don't see them. I created a new log, which is log server startup, which should be used whenever we want the Yeah, this one and this one and this one should all be log server starts. Right? Exactly. Um, but anyway, I mean, the point is that the server is starting, is repopulating all the items, and for some reason, if I start my tick here, it works. If I start my tick inside this guy, so inside NPC manager, it's not working. Is it because it's inside NPC manager, or is because maybe it's because it's inside of this class and it's messing up? Hmm. I don't know what to think, guys. I don't know exactly what is the problem. I don't know what is the problem. Why, if I do it inside NPC manager, actually we do it here, but we don't do it even inside NPC manager. We do it inside the actual NPC brain. So we have a tick here, and then we add it to that, and inside this tick is where we schedule the new event. Right, right. And we advance only if it's ready, but that's not the problem. That's not the problem. Then we are pushing this event, and this event is never called. By the way, why is not failing on here? Because tick must be null. Okay, tick must be null, we never said it. Is set in the trigger. Actually, what this guy was doing was doing this, right? You can try to do it and see what happens. Was doing this, setting the tick. I don't know if we can set tick or something. Was setting the tick to new events. He was doing it here. This is a line that I deleted, right? He was setting the tick to this new event, so this NPC knows that is tick, and then when the event gets executed in the trigger, he was doing tick equal to null, and we still have that. We still have that because we have it here. You say is NPC tick equal to null, so they should continuously execute, and yeah, should continuously execute. And so this check that we have at the beginning should never trigger, right? Should never be a problem. But still, I'm very confused of why. Ah, I don't know why is not working from inside this class. If I call it outside, it works. If I call it in this class, it doesn't work. One thing we can do maybe. Now I had an idea. One thing we can do. Let's do this. Let's move this thing before. No, I cannot do it. I can move it. Well, I can move it here, you know. I can move it here, but I don't think it makes any difference. Actually, I think this one will still work. I cannot move it before because before we don't have the NPC definition set, so I cannot move it before this block. Because this block is the one that is loading the NPC definition and starting the ticks, so that I cannot do. But I can move it up before all this other stuff is done, and you will see that for some reason that NPC tick, the last one that I create, is working okay. Is it running? What is it doing? And I was compiling. If you have any suggestion, please let me know. If you see any errors in the logic of what I'm doing, because maybe I'm doing something stupid and I don't realize it. Interesting. Really? Uh, we moved it up and it didn't work. Wait a second. Am I doing it wrong or what? So basically we moved up this one that was working. We just moved it before the repopulate live and now it's not working. So it seems that this piece of code requires the repopulate live to be completed. But why? What is this repopulate live doing exactly? I don't remember. It's repopulating the NPC. Okay, it's basically loading all the character data and it's spawning the NPC. Okay, fine, but in our this should have nothing to do with does it has a relationship with what we are doing? This get NPC, so it seems that it's the other way around, you know. It seems that it's expecting the NPC to be loaded before actually loading the brain. The problem is that I'm doing it the opposite way. So when I'm doing repopulate live, at a certain point I create the NPC and then I associate the brain, right? We did it the other day. There is a point here which is, I don't remember where it is in this million lines of code, but there is a point where we associate the brain. There is a point. So here we create all the type of brains loading from the database. Fine. Now, let me go back to my page for a second. No, this is not helping me. So load NPC types, load all the data in database with NPC type for each one. These are stored in NPC client NPC types array. Okay, then read NPC from the database, read all the data from the NPC definition table and create a new NPC object for each of them. They are stored in NPC client. Okay, this also starts the tick of the NPC brain. Okay, so the load NPC type and the read from database are actually both called when I do the initialization of NPC manager. So basically here, okay, in this line, when I do NPC manager initialize, I'm loading from the database here with load NPC types, and then I'm loading and then I'm reading the NPC from the database, which is exactly that piece that we just read, which is reading NPC definitions. Okay, so this is fine. And we are just populating, we are just populating this. Now, when we are repopulating live, I think that's where we are setting, where we are setting the brain of the NPC. At least this was my understanding. So we do repopulate live here. Repopulate live. Load all the data of an NPC without spawning them. Okay. And then for each equals entity manager create NPC. Should actually be here, but for some reason it's not. Control NPC. It is actually a dummy at the moment. Also, this one is a dummy. All this thing is a dummy. No, but I'm pretty sure I was doing that. Where I do the possess, come on. If I search possess all open document, we will find it, okay? Okay, new controller possess this. Okay. APS character spawn PS control. No. This is here it is. Is here. Is in this part of the code. So is in load of the character. Right? Load of the character. Exactly, it is. If he's an NPC, we assign the controller. Okay. And it is basically checking, you see the NPC definitions, and it's setting our controller. And this is the stuff that we did the other day, right? And it sets the brain. So the important point is that the brain exists when we do wow, this function is big. When we do APS character load. When we do this, our brain needs to exist. Otherwise, we are not associating a proper brain. Okay? When we do character load, so isn't the repopulate live doing the character load? I think it should do. Maybe it's inside of this. Load NPC character data. I don't see a load here, but maybe it's too much code. Do you see it? Load NPC character. This one is just loading an APS character. Should be here now. Cast, class default, get capture. Get location, character data, spawn actor. It is actually spawning the actor. Oh, here it is. Load. Okay, it's doing it here. It's doing it here. Which is inside load all NPC character data. So the problem is that if we do it before, which is inside repopulate live, right? Which is inside repopulate live. So if I do it before this, it will never work. So I cannot do it. I cannot do it before this, but for some reason, does entity manager needs this to properly execute? Please tell me is this. If it's just this, I would be the happiest man in the world, really. If it's just the fact that we need to initialize also entity manager to have that part work, but because we cannot go after this repopulate live, and seems that our trigger works only at the end of this thing. I don't know why though. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe there is some code checking if entity manager is not properly loaded and just bails out or something. Could be because these two thingies, spawn manager and entity manager, have to be initialized. Maybe it's only that initialization. I hope so, actually. Actually, I hope. Still, it will not be very clear to me why, but it's okay. It's not working. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. I mean, just for fun, we could move this wall block later on, but this means that I mean, I can do it. I can move all of this after, but it seems a bit stupid actually. If I move it after repopulate live, like, I don't know, down here, before it was working. Maybe it was just a random, random synergy. But when this piece of code was after the repopulate live, the tick was actually triggering. If it's before the repopulate live, it seems it's not working. I don't know if it's just a matter of loading time, something like the server needs to process the maps and is not ready yet. Something like that. I don't have an idea of why. I'm sorry because I wanted this tonight to actually test this stuff and not just chase the fact that for some reason our engine is not loading the tick, or is not executing a tick. I mean, a tick is just a timer event. It's nothing very complex to do. But for some reason, he's not executing it. not executing. So now we do the repopulate of the NPCs, and then which will then get empty brains because the brains are not loaded yet. Yeah. Actually, it doesn't work because get NPC definition is actually empty. Even NPC manager is empty. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. No, we cannot do it later. I mean, there is no way. We cannot do it later. It's not working. It's not really working. I could temporarily comment this code out, but I mean, I can. I mean, it's not what we want to do, but I guess I can just comment it out temporarily. Something weird is going on anyway. There is something that I'm not seeing that is happening in the loading of these brains that is not working as expected. Anyway, now it should not crash because we are not associating anymore a brain to an NPC. We are just loading the brains, loading the NPCs, and then letting the brain think, without the association with the NPC, which okay is valid. I want to see if it ticks now. Basically now all the ticks nothing is ticking. I have no idea, boys. Nothing is sticking. Not even the last one that we scheduled is sticking. Nothing is ticking. So now this one didn't work, and all these ones didn't work. I don't know if it's just random. I have no idea if it's just random. Like the server is not initialized properly, or we are trying to execute these timer events too early while the server is still loading, and so is losing those timers. But to me, it's losing the timers for some reason. It's not executing the timers properly. Even if after this printout init game state begin play, in theory there is nothing else happening, right? Well, actually there is all this level streaming going on. There is all the level streaming. So because it finished the engine initialization, but then it starts to load the level. Maybe we should wait that the levels are loaded. I mean, do we have a hook point after the levels are getting loaded? Because maybe we could do it there, If there is something like a post game something, maybe we do it there. Because this one, what is it? This one is begin play. Is the begin play of the game state, but for some reason is before loading the levels. It's before loading the levels. Even if our world is still valid, is already valid, but the levels are not loaded in. I don't know if it makes any difference, but maybe we can search if there is a game state function. So if we check game state, eh? If we check game state, which is derived from what? It's derived from a game state. Okay. So if I go to the declaration of this, now it's ticking. Now is ticking. But only this one. Only the last one that I placed is ticking. Only one. All the others are not ticking at all. I don't know why this really. I have no idea why is this. All the ones we initialized here are not ticking. So let me check if we can do it after the level initialization. So what are the virtual functions we can override? There is a begin play. There is has match started and will begin play. But actually begin play is not defined here. Right? It's probably inside the former class, the parent class, which is called game state base. Game state base is defined in game state base.h. Is this one. Let's see which methods he has. Okay, so okay, has a number of properties, which is fine. But begin play is not here either. I don't know why. Maybe it's defined in blueprints. Let's search if the internet is a solution for us, because real engine timer not triggering in begin play. Nah, there is some other problem, I guess. No, this is not what. I mean, it's so weird that sometimes it triggers. I mean, the last one that we create, you need to see this one is triggering, which is the last one that we scheduled, and the previous one that we scheduled just here inside NPC Manager Initialize are not triggering. And if I move this piece of code that is just working now, like 10 lines before, it doesn't trigger. So it seems to be, there is a kind of a thread concurrency problem. Like one thread is loading something in the background, and when it finishes, then the timer start to work. If it's not so, I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. Of the Y is not, the Y is not loaded. So we need to find a hook point where the loading of the level has been completed. Nah, starting a timer that goes 1 second until. No, please. I don't want to do that. I mean, we can. We could have a wait timer here. We could have a timer that is triggering, and when this timer after 20 seconds we execute this code. But it's so hacky. I don't want to do it. I mean, really, I don't want to do it. I want to understand why my trigger is not freaking triggering. Why? Why is not triggering at the right time? I mean, or why only this last one is triggering? That's maybe the better question. Why? Why only this one is working and not all the previous ones? No idea. I don't know if it's a matter of concurrency or it's a matter of what. Why there is no begin play here? So why inside game state, which is this class, where I override the begin play, why begin play is not listed in this function? Handle match as started. I mean, we could print out something. Default time. think because begin play is here, because actually game state is an actor and begin play is an actor, you know. I would like to call a function when the world has been fully loaded. I don't know if it's possible. We are a bit stuck, boys. We are a bit stuck. At the moment, I'm stuck, and I don't know exactly how to proceed. You know, so I will probably end the stream here, think about it, and try to find a solution because I think there is no need for you to stay with me while I'm trying to find out this solution. It's a bit of a pity though, because I think that it's actually loading the brains properly and is loading the reaction properly. I mean, all the code is working. It's just is not ticking at the right time, and it's just because our timer is not getting executed. So, which is pretty stupid, you know. It's pretty stupid. Okay, boys, I will end the stream here because I think I'm a bit of a stuck point, and so I have to think about it. And sometimes I think better when I'm off stream. I will try to do more tests, but basically the objective here is to ensure that we can properly call the tick of our brains as soon as as long as our players are loaded, because we could do it another way. Okay, the other way we could do it is that inside the character here, right? Inside the character here, when the character is getting loaded here, what I could do, I could also load his brain, right? So I could, you see that here we have NPC manager, get NPC definition, find ref, blah, blah, blah. So instead of doing this, I could call, I could make a new function in NPC manager, which is actually loading the brain at that time, is then associating it to this NPC, and then it's starting the tick. You know, it's starting the tick at that point. There is one way, which I don't like too much, but anyway, is one way. Maybe I don't know if it will solve the problem, but anyway, it will happen later. You know, another way would be to don't start any timer. So to load everything like we did here in begin play. So let me put things back to where they were, because anyway these tests are not helping anyone. So this one was before repopulate live, right? Okay, was here, and this one was at the end. Okay, and this tick anyway is not helping at all as well, right? I can remove it. I think it's not needed. So one way will be that here in initialize, I don't start the ticks. Right? Maybe with this test we can do now. I don't start the ticks, and so no timer is getting initialized. But then I add a function here at the bottom, which is just when everything is finished, which is just starting the timers. Right? Just starting the timer. So the initialize is not doing the tick. Maybe we can do this just for fun. So basically here basically here inside read NPC from database, this tick, this one we don't do, we just do the loading. An NPC is added to NPCs, right? So yeah, so this one we don't do. Let's say that we don't do. Okay, we don't do. Then I need a function then in NPC manager, which will be a new function, which we can create right now. NPC manager, NPC, which anyway can be useful for other reasons that I will explain you in a second. NPC manager.h, we can create a new function which is called start NPC brain takes, right? This one takes no parameters and it's just void, and this one is, we can define it, I don't know, at the end. NPC manager, can define it at the end of this, or maybe we can define it close to read NPC. Okay, let's do it close to where we were already. So read NPC from database, let's do it at the end of this one so we remember that we were here. So we do this, and basically here what we have to do, it's very simple. We just have to cycle on all the NPCs. So we have to cycle here, so we have to create an iterator tmap, whatever freaking thing is this thing. We have to create a tmap int blah 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 t iterate, what I'm doing, t iterator equal to npcs dot create iterator, and then we just have to do while iterator, and we just do so we just get an NPC brain as a result, right? We just get an NPC brain as a result, which should be brain equal to iter, and then we just do brain tick, okay, and then we do plus plus iter. Now I don't have to do this, I have to do dot value. Okay, so basically this function is doing nothing else than starting the brain of all the NPCs, right? Which I think is a cool function. I think we may use it in other cases. I mean, we may decide to stop the execution of, I don't know, of our NPC or restart it or something. So having done that, I can set ready, set the game timer, and then I can say start NPC brain tick, and we can just call this on NPC manager. So basically we are loading everything and anything, and then only at the end we are starting the ticks, right? I don't know if this is gonna fix it, but I mean, to me it's very weird that it's already, I mean, it's working only sometimes, and it's working only when like is the last line of this function. I mean, it's very weird. Let's do this last test together and see. You believe in me, Riccardo? Okay. Thank you. I think it's good that you believe in me, because anyway, I think I'm the only guy that can do this for real. Or the only guy that really has the interest to do this. Let's put it this way. The only guy that has the interest to do it. Not that other people are not helping, they are helping, but I think this part is pretty heavy, you know. So it's a lot of work, and it's not very rewarding. Let's say at the beginning, I think it would be very rewarding later on. It would be very fun to see. You know, it would be very fun to see the game starting in Unreal and everything working like it was working. That would be a pretty epic moment. Okay, so let's see if now we have all the brains loaded. Why we still have an NPC tick? No idea. But you've seen all the ticks were at the end. One is ticking. Why only one? One is ticking. The hired NPC is thinking. For some reason, only this one is thinking. The other ones don't give a shit about it. The other NPCs are sleeping. But this one is actually ticking. And it looks like the last one in the list is getting fired. I don't know. Is the hired NPC the last in the list? Let me check. Hired NPC. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know. Hired NPC is the last in the list of the database. Because at this point we are just seeking a hint that tell us why. Hired. Well, actually, the last NPC is called. Yeah, it's called hired NPC. Yes, it's the last in the. It's like if we are overriding ourselves, you know, like if we are trying to execute all these 85 NPC definition. Wait a second, these are the definitions, not the NPC types. The NPC types, the NPC definitions. Char ID. Yeah, it's this one. Hired NPC. Yeah, the RNPC is the last on the list. And strangely enough, the RNPC is the only one that is sticking. You know, it's the only one that is sticking. Are we sharing the timer with something else? I don't know. Are we? Is the weather running? Because I would like to see if the weather is running. Because the weather actually as let me check event manager. Because I have this feeling that we are overriding ourselves, you know. Let me put a breakpoint here, which will trigger immediately, but I want to see. So there is an NPC tick. There is another NPC tick, NPC tick, NPC tick, NPC tick. Can I just have a watch? In event, I want to see in event. Ouch. Okay, now I can go a bit quicker. Why is always the same one? These are all NPC ticks. I want to see if there is at least one weather manager, you know? Because it seems that now we broke the weather manager, so it's like only the last trigger is actually timer is actually executing. Why boys? Let me see something. Let me go to start game time, alright? Start game time. So this one is starting, is doing queue next event. Okay. In queue next event, please go there quickly. No, it doesn't want to. Okay, it's here. Is doing this UPS game event. Okay, so I want to put a breakpoint here and see. You see? Now the weather is not triggering anymore. Now the weather is not triggering anymore. You see? It's not triggering anymore, the weather. So it's like if the last... Do we have one timer only? Do we have one timer only in the whole game? I don't know. I mean, what is this thing? Event manager push. So I'm pushing an event. I think we are having a concurrency problem. I have this strong feeling that we are having a concurrency problem between process event queue. I think the problem that we have is not in the our class. It's not in the event itself, but is in the event manager. I think the event manager is not doing his job. I have this strong feeling that he's not doing his job. Let me remove those two printouts and see something else, okay? Let me do this test, which I think is a very good test. If I remove so NPC tick, let me just search NPC tick, right? Okay, we have one here in the trigger and one in the constructor, but I don't care too much about this anymore. Right? I don't care. Well, I can leave it anyway. It's not a problem to leave the tick. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. But I want to see something. I want to see if whatever I schedule is actually getting processed. And at the moment, I think it's not. I think the takeaway is that is our scheduler not working. That is the takeaway. It's getting late though. I think I have to go. I don't know if we discover something or not. Let me do this last test because I want to know. I really want to know. I have the curiosity, you know. The curiosity kills the cat. Is that a good rule for? No, kills the cat. Kills the cat. Curiosity kills the cat. What is that? So is curiosity. Is the doctor saying to the cat, sorry, it's curiosity. And since the curiosity kills the cat is very scared. The cat is super scared. Come on, I need to compile this. Hello, someone joined. Welcome. We are in a very tough spot. We are doing our best, but for some reason we are stuck into unreal timers. It seems that our timers are not working as they should. All our complex NPC code, whatever, seems to be working okay, but a freaking timer is not triggering when we want it to trigger. Right? Freaking timer is not triggering. So basically now I'm printing out every time. Okay, apart from this, which is okay. I'm printing out every time we schedule an event. I don't understand why there is so much time passing between, you say. The weather is gone. The weather is not triggering anymore. The weather is not triggering anymore. Can you believe it? Let me try to log in with the client because now I want to see something else. Right? Even if the trigger on the client, I think is client side. The timer, I think yes, the timer is client side for save character data. Save character data. Save character data. Let me check this a second. Save character data. I think we have PS save character event. I don't remember if I do it this way or if I do it different. I think we save the character data. I think we call, yeah. Now we have a trigger on the client side. For saving character data, we have a trigger on the client side, so it's not a good test because I wanted to see if loading a character was stopping the other triggers, you know. But at the moment, it seems that only one type of trigger is executing at a certain time. Which is very annoying. Let me do something else. Let me try to do this just as an additional confirmation of this. So let's say that I start all the brains NPC and then I start the weather again. Okay, I know that is a bit weird, but I start the weather again. I want to see if then the NPC brain is stopping, and I think it probably will. I could even wait like 10 seconds or whatever and start in the game time again. I think we have a problem here. We have a big problem, which is concurrent timers. I mean, the timers are working only one time. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Our timer handle is compiling, yeah, but why is compiling? Let me just check something. So, is this set timer that I'm using? Is this set timer that I'm using clearing out all the other timers for some reason? Because it looks like it does this, you know? It looks like it does this. Like you set the timer, and you're not setting a new timer, you're setting the same timer. Let's see if it's the weather. It's saying something. Trusted event queue not implemented. What is not implemented? But probably it's the weather, because you see that it's triggering every 15 seconds. Yeah, is the weather. So the problem is, I think we got the problem. At least we found the problem. At least we found the problem. And why is it not implemented? Probably because I don't have a toString. Let me see. Maybe on the weather manager, the weather event is not having a toString. Yes, in fact I removed it. I don't know why. But it will say now UPS game event. Yeah. So the problem is very clear. We are setting the, when we set the timer, we set only one timer. So we fuck up all the other timers in the game. What is this timer handle, for example? I don't know. I don't understand. This set timer is overriding all the other timers. All previous timers. I don't know. I mean, how is this? Set your time. What are we passing in? So we are passing in a timer delegate and a timer handle. Timer handle, I think this thing is global and it is our problem. I think this timer handle should not be global. Maybe we should create a new one, you know, a new one every time. Yeah, this is probably why. I think this is probably why. This is probably why. I think we are getting closer, boys. I think we're getting closer to our solution. I think I think there are some parts of Unreal that is not really documented, or maybe I'm not finding the right place, you know. But if I just go to the API, F-time at the scene, should we just try to give it another handle and see what happens? My only issue is that if I don't have the handle, you know, if I don't have the handle, I mean, I could just do new handle something. I mean, let me try to do this and see what happens. If I do timer handle, new handle, okay? And I mean, is set timer returning the timer handle? I don't know what this thing is doing. Wait a second. First, maybe I have to understand what this function is doing. You know? What is this function doing? Yeah, I think it's returning the handle as a result. Set time. So these two are in out handle in delegate. So the delegate is something that we provide. So it's an in delegate and an in rate and an in something. But the in out handle, I'm not sure. Maybe something that it returns. Peak definition. In out handle scope. Cycle counter stack. Not calling the trade save. Isn't game trade. If in out handle is valid. If the timer is already set, just clear it and we'll add it since there is no data to maintain. I think we are overriding ourselves. What does override handle do? Validate handle. Last assigned handle. I have no idea how to do this, but who cares? Can I create a new handle? Tell me that I can. How can I do I do new object also here? Do I do new object of F timer handle and GG? Can I do this? Okay. Can I do this? The problem is that this handle will destroy after or maybe you set it. No, I'm going to pass the address of this. No, sorry, you need to press this. Yes. The problem is that I think this one will destroy when we go out of this, unless it's set somewhere in the timer manager. But we really need to understand if this timer manager is managing multiple timers. If it's not managing multiple timers, it's totally GG. I mean, it's like super GG. I mean, we need to have hundreds of timers running at the same time. If this is only managing one, I mean, this is impossible for us, you know. No, I think we cannot initialize it this way. Okay, boys, it's getting late. I will find. I think we are very close, though. We understood at least why. The reason is that on this line we are basically resetting. Fix me now. This one is basically overrides the previous timer every time a new event is scheduled. This is why only the last one was triggering, you know. It was very weird, but it's exactly why the last one was triggering. And we have to understand why. So for now I will leave it like this, but I will continue. Not tomorrow evening, I will continue Saturday, and Saturday we will fix this. Okay, we'll fix this and we finally see probably our NPC doing something. Okay, with that said, I wish you a good evening and I will see you very soon.